Hi, folks. Country Conversations with Cactus Jack today starts with what I expect will be a series of memories with two old friends talking about a career that has covered well over 65 years. Stanley Walker is a legend in music, often not recognized outside of our home area here, but he has traveled the world and toured with some big names in country music. Born in the late 1930s, Stanley was raised on a West Kentucky farm between the rivers, as they say. Those rivers being the Tennessee and the Cumberland, and they eventually were formed as Kentucky Lake and Lake Barkley here in West Kentucky. I knew Stanley way before I knew he was a musician. We were fishing buddies for quite a while before I wandered into a place where he was picking and singing. Oh, he's that Stanley! The Stanley I've been friends with for 40-some years has always been the one you see here today, always gracious, always friendly, always with a big old smile. He has always supported me in radio, and anywhere I went, I have felt extremely welcome. Well, we blindsided him with a surprise birthday party here a while back, and when he turned 84 years old, if you watch till the end of that video, you'll see him giving me the look. Yeah, shaking that finger at me. He originally thought he was coming to record the video you're going to see here. Country singer, country picker, Rockabilly Hall of Famer, my buddy, Stanley Walker, on Country Conversations with Cactus Jack.
A special guest in the studio, my assistant today, my lovely assistant, Stanley Walker.
Hey, how's it going, buddy?
It's good, brother. Happy birthday, a couple of weeks late.
Yeah, I had another one.
Yeah, we did. We kind of commemorated that one. Some folks have seen that on the YouTube channel, I believe. Yeah. Stanley had himself a birthday, and we kind of we blindsided him is what we did with the surprise birthday party. And
It was...
you can look that up on the YouTube channel if you want to take a look. It's pretty entertaining. And today, after the show, we're going to record some more.
You know, Cactus, I started out with, you'd say professionally, with Dottie Rambo in the 50s.
That's a name we still have not forgotten. She had a couple #1 gospel records here in the last year or so.
Great writer. And I was playing at the church in Calvert City, and Dottie Rambo was there. She went and asked my parents if I could go with her, you know. So she kind of picked me up and took care of me, you know, and we walked in this music store, and there's a beautiful rich guitar there, a Silver Jet. She seen me looking. She said, "Stanley, you can touch that. It's yours."
Oh, wow.
I didn't have a decent guitar, man.
So you did then, didn't you?
She's like my mom.
What a sweet lady.
And she became a famous writer, too, you know.
Where'd you go after that?
Well, of course, I miss Ray Smith. I started with Ray, you know that.
Yes, sir. But, did you start at Sun Records? Is that where that was?
Yeah, that's where we first recorded it.
You were down there with Ray, and I guess Jan Crutchfield was there at some point. Was he down there when you were there?
No, but I worked with those guys before they split up. It's called
Country Gentleman, they called it.
Yeah, Country Gentleman. I worked with them, man.
Yeah, and Buddy Stewart was in there, too.
And Jan, and they went to Nashville, and I guess I just couldn't stay off the road. I thought I had to go somewhere, and I did.
I'll tell you what. We're loving these stories. Did you ever work with Johnny Cash any?
No, I worked the Opry, but I didn't talk to him any because it's so much confusion going on. You know, him and George Jones was standing there. I wanted to talk to both of them, but
I've been backstage there. It's kind of crazy, isn't it?
Oh, it is crazy.
Yeah, it really is. Stanley Walker, I'm in the presence of a legend right here, a Rockabilly Hall of Famer. Stanley, I love hearing your road stories, and you say you were trying to figure out when you went on the road with Dottie Rambo. That was in the 50s, was it?
Yeah, and after I left her, I went. That's when I met Ray. A little while after that, sometimes it's hard for me to remember get everything straight. I've been doing this, you know, but.
2 or 3 weeks, anyway.
Yeah.
Did you bring that Gretsch guitar with you on the road?
I recorded at Sun Records with it.
What's your favorite memory of the road over the years? I know you said you went with Dottie Rambo and you spent a lot of time with Ray Smith on the road. How many years did you play with Ray?
Somewhere around 20.
20 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was your favorite Ray Smith road memory that you can put on the radio? It might be something we can't publish.
I guess it was when I worked Vegas with Ray. You know, we worked a lot of places, and the Fremont Hotel out there, we worked with Wayne Newton. Of course, I got to meet him, you know, a fine person.
Yeah.
He told me he started in country music, And was such. I'd love to see him. Who knows what's going to happen? I am 84 years old now, and I can look back on all those things. But I got so many memories. But my greatest thrill, out of all the places I played with Ray, was when I went to Grand Ole Opry. That was my goal in life, and I'd get there before the guard did.
How long did it take you to make it?
Well,
to Grand Ole Opry.
69 is when I went to work at the Opry.
So it took 15 years or so, I guess, maybe. Yeah. And that was with Ray Smith.
When I stepped on that stage, I couldn't hardly plug my guitar. I was so scared.
Did it go away when you started picking?
No. I knew them super pickers were standing behind me.
Yeah? Did you show them what you was made out of?
Yeah, they wanted to see what I was made out of, and you got to go through that to make it. And I didn't know if I'd ever get to make it now, but that was my goal in life, to play that Ryman Auditorium.
I'll tell you what, the first time I actually was at the Opry 4 or 5 times backstage before I ever actually got out front and saw a show. It's only been about 2 years since I actually saw an Opry show, not from the wings. But with working here, I was there the night Sweethearts of the Rodeo won when Mark Hobbs competed, and I was backstage that night. And there's a guy named Jerry Sullivan, who was actually Andy Grigg's father-in-law, who was my dad's Army buddy, and we used to go down to Andy's house and hang out and had a lot of fun. And it was an experience to be backstage, and as you said earlier when we were talking off, that it's a madhouse back there.
Yeah,
but
it is.
There is absolutely nothing to compare with actually being out there in the crowd.
I knew these guys were standing behind me watching the new guy, and I couldn't hardly plug up. I was so scared. And I looked like Wichita,
But you got her done.
I got her done. I got it under my belt.
How many times did you actually go back to the Opry? Is it just the once, or were you there a lot of times?
You mean when I was picking on Opry?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. We'd go out on tour, We had to do so many shows a year to be a member, at the Opry. Of course, I wasn't a member. I was just a side man, but with Gene.
Yeah.
But I don't know how long I did work with Gene Shepard. I think maybe 3 years or something. I don't know.
That's a lot of trips to the Opry.
Well, did you want to hear how I got on the Opry?
Yeah, I want to hear that. And then in a minute here, we're going to go back and I'm going to find out about Leona Williams. But how did you actually make it to the Opry?
A guy came through Paducah and heard me play in Paducah, and he was going to Columbia, Tennessee. He said, "Would you go down to Columbia, Tennessee and help me out?" Of course, I was running pretty wild. I said, "Let me get my stuff."
Yeah.
So I went down there, and we was doing a Johnny Cash song. This boy was doing the Folsom Prison Blues. Of course, that was right down my alley.
Yeah. Playing in his Sun Record studio. I imagine you knew that one pretty well, didn't you?
Yeah. So this guy walked up to me and was listening to me play there, and I didn't know who it was or nothing. And come to find out, it was Wilma and Stoney Cooper,
Yeah.
And Stoney Cooper said, "Son, would you like to go to work with Johnny Cash?" Well, I didn't know if he was putting me on or he was serious, because I didn't know him. He said, "Well, I'm going to get you set up where you can audition for Cash." There wasn't any doubt in my mind I could get it because I knew all of his stuff.
Yeah.
How he done it and everything else. And so, anyway, he said, "Well, I'm going to get you down here." And he told his steel player, said, "Get that boy's number." But he just hired his brother-in-law. I had to pull over, man. Because I was after that job.
Yeah.
Of course, now the good man upstairs knows what's right and what ain't. I'm here today to tell about it.
We're tickled to death to have you here.
Well, I appreciate it, son. I do appreciate it.
You got any good Ray stories you can tell on the radio?
Well, yeah, I'd like to say this about that guy. He was something. He was the most talented guy on stage I think I ever seen. I'm not saying that just because I worked with him, but when we was in Vegas, the stars came to see him,
Yeah.
And he was such a good-hearted person, man. Ray was such a good-hearted person.
Now,
we was out on the road one time, and he stopped and picked this soldier boy up, gave him $100, and took him out of the way. That's how he was. He's a wonderful man. He was hyper. You know, we was going through that stage there, that music business. You can get all wrapped up in that. It took us everywhere, Rockin' Little Angel did. Oh, yeah.
Now, he was from Paducah, right?
He was born out here in Melbourne.
Now, did you meet him here, or did you meet him somewhere through music?
I met him in Metropolis.
Yeah?
I was at my uncle's house, and he said, get your guitar, I want you to go somewhere with me.
Yeah?
And I'd been playing with Dottie, and I was doing gospel music. I didn't know nothing about rock and roll, you know.
Yeah.
Sun Records or nothing else. So he took me over there and let Ray hear me pick, and he heard me play one song with Chet Atkins. It's called Blue Echo.
Yeah?
Started me out at $3 a night.
That's big money in those days, I guess.
A place to stay, got my clothes. It was something to me that just a country boy don't have anything, you know.
Yeah, you know, these are the kind of stories that nobody can tell like somebody that was actually there, you know.
Oh, yeah, right.
Stanley, we're going to have to run along here. The Orange Man's knocking on the door. We're going to move along, but we will do some YouTube recording this morning. Y'all watch the YouTube channel, Country Conversations with Cactus Jack. We've already got one on there with Stanley where we surprised him for his birthday party a few days ago.
Oh, man.
All right, Stanley, we appreciate you coming in.
Thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate it.